Hello everyone, welcome to Judiciary Academy. Hope you are on. Hope you can hear me. Yeah, hope you can hear me. Am I audible to all of you? Kindly give me yes if you can. Now, in this particular class, we are going to talk about the next part of the Aligarh Muslim University case. Okay. So, this is Sudipto. In the first part of the class, we talked about how Aligarh Muslim University was established and how the history of the Aligarh Muslim University unfolded throughout the time. Okay. Because it has a very enriching history. It's a history of 100 years that we have disclosed in the first part. If you haven't checked the first part, do check it. And the very important thing regarding this particular Aligarh Muslim University case, I have made a 5 most important videos for constitutional law for CLAT PG 2026. If you haven't checked that video, do check it, because out of those 5 constitutional cases, one case is Aligarh Muslim University case, and that's why I am teaching you this Aligarh Muslim University case to all of you. Okay. Now, this Aligarh Muslim University case has a very unique understanding that is required to be needed in this case. This case is not like other cases where legal understanding is needed only. Here, the legal understanding is needed, but the factual scenario is also very important to be understood. The reason being that factual scenario in this whole situation, okay, we have discussed how Aligarh Muslim University from 1875 to 1875 to 1920, then AMU Act, and then we have talked about the situation of 1951 amendment, then 1965 amendment, then 1967 Aziz Basa case. In that case, both the amendments were challenged, 1951, 1965. Then there were amendments of 1972, then 1981, and then led to the next very important part is the reservation policy around 2005. That was again challenged in Allahabad High Court single judge bench, and then again challenged in High Court. Okay, a single judge bench, a division bench High Court, that further led to Supreme Court judgment. Three judge bench referred into the 5-judge bench that we are talking about now. Okay. Now, this particular case has a very brief understanding that I have given you in the previous class. Okay. So you haven't checked that previous video of AMU first part, do check it. That will help you understand the things. So in this part, we are going to talk about how the issue, what is the legal principles and on the legal issues that are getting involved here and how it is getting emerged. Okay, कैसे emerge हो रहे हैं. We have seen the conflict from the factual scenario in the last class. इस क्लास में हम लोग बात करेंगे कि कैसे कैसे factual scenario led to the legal understanding or legal conflict here. Okay. Now, the legal principles and the legal issues of Aligarh Muslim University is related to Article 30. I'm going to show you Article 30. I'm going to show you what Aziz Wasa has done, okay, that led to this particular case. And also Anjuman-e-Rahmaniya, this particular case, how that case also important in this particular aspect. Okay. Now, first, this particular part is Aziz Wasa, okay, Article 30, Anjuman-e-Rahmaniya, okay. So I'm going to go to the case first. I'm going to share the case with you, okay, and as I have shared the case with you, I'm going to share the important part and the issues that are there, how the issues have arisen in this particular case. We're going to talk about in detail. क्योंकि अगर हम लोग प्रॉब्लम नहीं समझेंगे, आंसर नहीं समझ पाएंगे. क्योंकि नेक्स्ट क्लास वी आर गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड द प्रॉब्लम एंड फिनिश इट. ठीक है, अंडरस्टैंड the legal reasoning and the judicial reasoning, we're going to finish it. But first we need to understand the problem at hand. हम लोग के हाथ में क्या प्रॉब्लम है, क्या इशू यहाँ पर arise हो रहा है, what is the conflict that is getting arisen. That is the most important part to be understood. Okay, so हम लोग issue के बारे में जानेंगे in detail how these issues are getting arisen here in this particular case. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen right now, and you are going to tell me whether you are able to see it or not. Kindly give me yes in the chat box if you are able to see it. Okay, kindly give me yes in the chat box if you're able to see it. Okay, now I hope you're able to see the judgment. Okay, you are able to see the Aligarh Muslim University judgment. This is the case. Okay, this is the Aligarh Muslim University case, and I am talking about the DY Chandrachud part. Okay, the Aligarh Muslim University is Naresh Agarwal, this case. Okay, DY Chandrachud part. I've talked about the background in detail. The background is not somehow included here in this thing. ठीक है, तो मैं और in detail background आपके साथ share किया हूँ. ठीक है, पहले पार्ट में. इस पार्ट में हम लोग बात करेंगे इश्यूज के बारे में. Now, इश्यूज के बारे में जानने से पहले आपको जानना पड़ेगा कि आजीज बासा केस में क्या क्या चीजें हुआ था that led to this particular situation. Okay. Now, आर्टिकल 30 एंड आजीज बासा मैं दोनों चीज को एक बार साइमल्टेनियसली दिखाना चाहता हूं. ओके, सो आजीज बासा केस, अगर मैं एक लाइन में आपको फैक्चुअल सिनेरियो समझाने की कोशिश करूं, इन आजीज बासा केस बोथ द अमेंडमेंट 1951 and 1965, both the amendments were challenged and their validity were challenged in regards to this. 1951 and 1965, why those amendments are very important? 1951 and 1965, both the amendment basically did two very interesting things. One thing, what they did is the study of religion that was quite the study of religion was circumscribed from the AMU Act by the 1951 amendment, and also section 23. Okay, section 23, where the power of the court significantly reduced for the very first time by 1951. Now, why that two part is very important, that I'm going to tell you by the Article 30, the provision of the Article 30. And again, 1965, another very important part that has been done here is the power of the court, section 23, which is a very integral part of minority institution. Again, the court, the power of the court that has been reduced just to make it an advisory role. Okay, so these two amendments were challenged in Aziz Basa, that further led to the conclusion that AMU is not a minorities university. Now, why is that, sir? Why is that 1951, 1965, what this amendment have done that led to the conclusion of Aziz Basa that AMU is not a minority university? What's so important? अगर पावर कोर्ट के पावर कम हो जाता है तो क्या हो सकता है? अगर study of religion is not there, what is the problem in that case? Okay, is there any problem? Does that indication that you will not remain a minority university if your language and religion, this particular code has been taken away? If your administration, because the power, the court is actually the governing body, if that governing body power is taken away, you will not remain the minority institution. Is that the indication or requirement to become a minority institution? This what we need to understand by Article 30. ठीक है, सो आर्टिकल 30 को हम लोग जानेंगे और समझेंगे इसके रिगार्डिंग. सो आर्टिकल 30 हम लोग एक बार गूगल में सर्च करते हैं एंड अंडरस्टैंड इट क्लियरली व्हाट इज देयर. हम लोग इस केस के, क्योंकि आर्टिकल 30 में इस केस में मतलब जो अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी 2024 के जजमेंट में और भी डिटेल में बहुत सारी चीज डिस्कस किए गए हैं, वो हम लोग धीरे धीरे अनफोल्ड करेंगे. बट टू अंडरस्टैंड द आर्टिकल 30 फॉर आजीज बासा parlance, वी आर गोइंग टू गेट इट. ओके, वी आर गोइंग टू गेट इट. ओके, आर्टिकल 30. देखो, आर्टिकल 30 इज अ वेरी सिंपल yet most interesting article. If you see it, Article 30, right of the minorities. So here, Article 30 with the tagline and the headline talks about that right of the minorities. Okay, minorities' right are one of the very important feature of Article 30. Achha, okay, to establish and administer educational institutions. So here, the one very important right that has been catered by Article 30 is minorities can establish and administer educational institution. Okay, that's what the headline says. Now, what is the meaning of establishment? What is the meaning of administer? I'm going to talk about in detail regarding this aspect. Okay, मैं एक एक करके सारा चीज आप लोगों से शेयर करूंगा. Now, अगर आप देखो आर्टिकल 30 सब क्लॉज 1, व्हाट डज इट टॉक अबाउट, बिकॉज दैट इज द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट आर्टिकल हियर. आप अगर पूरे चीज में देखोगे, यही एक आर्टिकल है जो फर्दर डीवाई चंद्रचूड़ और भी डिटेल डिस्कशन किए हैं आर्टिकल 31 को ही. ठीक है, सो आर्टिकल 31 को ही हम लोग और डिटेल में जानेंगे टू अंडरस्टैंड इट वेरी वेरी केयरफुली. ओके, नाउ आर्टिकल 30, इफ यू सी इट, आर्टिकल 30, if you see it, 31, all minorities, whether based on religion or language. So here, one of the very important aspect, minorities based on religion and language. These are the two very important part, religion and language. Whereas, if you see the difference between article 29 and 30, 29 में भी बहुत सारा चीज दिया जाता है. ठीक है, अगर आप 29 में देखोगे, आर्टिकल 29, आई एम जस्ट ओपनिंग इट इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू and keeping it beside the article 30, you will get to see a very important distinction between article 29 and 30. ठीक है, अब article 29 देखो, article 29(1) talks about another very important. Article 29 talks about any section of citizen residing in the territory of India or any part of the thereof having a distinct language, script or culture. So here the three words, language, script or culture, whereas in article 30 it is the religion or language. Is a very important distinction. Article 31 talks about all minorities. Article 29 talks about any section of the citizen. So there is no particular distinction between this 29(1) here. Any section of citizen talks about it. Now article 21(1), 29(1) अगर मैं बात करूं, अगर आप लोग असम अकॉर्ड के केस पढ़े थे ना, if you have read Assam Accord case, it is regarding the Assam Accord, many very famous Assam Accord, where the immigration or the Bangladeshi immigrants, they have been given some sort of the right and the conflict regarding their them and the Assamese people. In the Assam Accord case, one of the situation that has arisen, the Assamese people, while they claim their culture, okay, their language, they basically referred article 29(1) by saying that Assamese people, as they reside in Assam, their language, their culture, that need to be protected under article 29(1). So are you understanding? So Assamese people in Assam, okay, they have raised the advocate on behalf of Assamese people in that situation in Assam Accord. They basically claimed in the Assam Accord case कि हम लोगों को right है to conserve the same, okay, to conserve our culture, language, script. And as a result, Bangladeshi immigrant in Assam are taking away our culture, language, and script, which is very important. They said that's why their fundamental right to article 29(1) have been violated, which later court denied it. But what I mean to say is that this article 21 is not limited to only minority. अगर आपके पास लैंग्वेज स्क्रिप्ट कल्चर है, यू माइट कॉल फॉर योर आर्टिकल 21 नीडेड टू बी प्रोटेक्टेड. आई होप यू गॉट इट व्हाट माय पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू इज हियर. ओके, ठीक है, तो आप लोगों को शायद समझ में आया होगा इन दिस पर्टिकुलर केस. नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट द नेक्स्ट वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. Article 30 talks about right to establish and administer. Now, sir, right to establish, what do you understand by right to establish? Aziz Basa mein bola gaya tha establishment and administer, that both have been done by central legislation. Okay, okay, and especially the establishment part. Okay, so establish this thing. This establishment means, okay, establishment means what's the old meaning. I'm talking about the old meaning as the Aziz Basa talked about. Okay, I'm talking about, because this case there are few understanding needed to be incorporated to understand article 30 better, जो मैं बाद में डिस्कस करूंगा. बट हम लोग एज आजीज बासा वी आर डिस्कसिंग, तो हम लोग को समझना पड़ेगा कि एस्टैब्लिश का मीनिंग क्या था, अभी क्या है, वो तो हम लोग और फर्दर वी आर गोइंग टू इंप्रूव ऑन दैट. बट क्या था एस्टैब्लिश का meaning? So establish ka meaning, it was the bring into existence. Okay, bring into existence, that is the main meaning of the establishment. So I'm writing it. Establish means bring into existence. So anything which brings into existence anything or any help or any other aspect bring into existence, that is called right to establish. Okay, so right to establish means right to bring into existence. अच्छा, फर्स्ट सर, ठीक है सर, एस्टैब्लिश का मीनिंग, लिटरल मीनिंग हमको समझ में आया. सर राइट टू एडमिनिस्टर मीन्स, So right to administer, which is a very interesting, okay, right to administer means to right to effectively manage and conduct the institution, right to effectively manage and conduct the institution. That what the administer means. Okay. Now, establish and administer both of their choice, which is very important. कि अगर आप माइनॉरिटी इंस्टीट्यूशन हो, सो इंस्टीट्यूशन में establishment, you have the right to establish definitely. And second thing, the administration of their choice, both are there. Okay, both are very important. It means here, if you see it, if there is a minority institution, the governing body which governs and runs the institution must be some institution which is basically coming from the minority choice. Minorities are choosing that governing body or consisting the governing body. They are at the helm of that institution. They are running it. It's not the otherwise. ठीक है? तो सर इसका मीनिंग है सर, जनरली माइनॉरिटी का इंस्टीट्यूशन है, माइनॉरिटी चलाएगा ना, ठीक है? तो ऐसा हो सकता है सर कि इज देयर ए पॉसिबिलिटी कि सर शायद माइनॉरिटी एस्टैब्लिश इट बट मेजॉरिटी अभी चला रहा है. दैट व्हाट हैपेंड, हाउ आसिस बासा डेल्ट. ठीक है, आसिस बासा केस में अगर मैं आपको यही दिखाऊं कि एस्टैब्लिश एंड एडमिनिस्टर को कैसे इंटरप्रेट किया गया आसिस बासा में. आसिस बासा में इंटरप्रेट जब आपको मैं एएमयू एक्ट, इफ इट इज अवेलेबल ऑनलाइन दैट विल बी ग्रेट. हाँ, आप लोगों के लिए दिखाने के लिए बहुत आसान रहता है. एएमयू एक्ट या 1920, I hope it's available online. This is very difficult. Yeah, and chalo. Because amendment probably it's very difficult, but most of the things can be done very easy. Yeah, I hope you are able to see the act. Okay, this is the act of 1920, but probably with the amendment. Without amendment, it would be much easier for me to show it to you. Okay, with the amendment, I am talking. So, with the amendment, I am talking here. Okay, 1 second. So, this is the Aligarh Muslim University Act. So, Article 30, in regards to this particular aspect, Aziz Basa case, right to establish and administer, how it has been interpreted, look at this, which would be quite interesting for you people to understand. Okay. Now, dekho, in 1981, I am showing you the 1981, the 1920 Aligarh Muslim University Act. इसमें एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज है, an act to incorporate a teaching residential Muslim university at Aligarh, whereas it is expedient to incorporate a teaching and residential Muslim university at Aligarh to dissolve the societies registered under 1860, which are respectively known as Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College. So if you see it, the whole aspect to it, okay, one very important thing, look at this here, one has been amendment. This amendment has been done here. If you see it at the footnote, the word established has been omitted by 1981 amendment. 1981 amendment, which is a very controversial one, which I'm going to later again explain to you. 1981 amendment में इस यहाँ पर उससे पहले जो 1920 एक्ट था वहां पर एस्टैब्लिश करके एक वर्ड आता था, एस्टैब्लिश एंड इनकॉर्पोरेट. ठीक है, तो ये एक्ट बेसिकली टॉक्स अबाउट दैट an act to establish and incorporate a teaching and residential Muslim university at Aligarh. Okay. Now, what's so unique about Aziz Basa? We have seen some part of the Article 30 right to establish and administer. But sir, Aziz Basa में ऐसा क्या बोला गया that led to understanding that university is not minority? So अगर आर्टिकल 30 को बेयर प्रोविजन पढ़ोगे, उसमें दोनों चीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, राइट टू एस्टैब्लिश एंड एडमिनिस्टर. एस्टैब्लिश मतलब the broad bringing into existence. Second, right to manage effectively the conduct of the affairs. Okay, manage and the conduct. Okay, the administration or the governing body. These two are very important part. If these two are missing, in that case, that university will not be called as minority university. Okay. If these two are missing, that university will not be called as minority university. That's a very important part. Okay. Establishment and administration. Okay. Now look at this here. In Aziz Basa case, the first thing in 1920, what Aziz Basa case talked about, Aziz Basa बोला, देखो एक्ट के पहला जो सेंटेंस में the word is establish is very important for our understanding. Okay. So act is saying an act to establish and incorporate, which has been later amended in 1981, but Aziz Basa happened in 1967. तो उस टाइम established word is played a very important role. ठीक है, तो established word वहां पर थे. अब establishment word जब when it was there, okay, establish word था. सो अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी एक्ट जब देखा आजिज बसा केस, सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने जब अलीगढ़ एएमयू एक्ट देखा, दे सेड the act itself is saying establishment has been done by this act. But sir, Aligarh has been established in 1875. The history is saying, yeah, in the Aziz Basa case, Supreme Court did not take notice of that 1875 to 1877, that time period, Sir Sayyid Khan establishment. What Supreme Court said, no, that college, the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, that was founded in 1877 by Sir Sayyid Khan. Fine enough. But AMU Act actually established the Aligarh Muslim University. Why? Because in the preamble it says so, an act to establish and incorporate this university. So Supreme Court did not take the consideration of 1875 and 75 Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, that Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College establishment. He said, no, when the central legislation passed the act, in the act preamble itself, it is saying it is established by this act, it means this act actually giving birth to this particular university. First thing. So how the court basically saying who has established? So you have seen as per Article 30, minority को establishment करना बहुत जरूरी है as per minority institution. But in Aziz Basa case, it is saying that नहीं minority कहाँ establish किया? इस act ने central legislation ने imperial legislation, that time it is pre-independence, this particular legislation has created the Aligarh Muslim University Act. It is not done by 1875 Sir Syed Ahmad Khan or minority community. They did not do it. It is done by the act. In that case, how can you say the establishment is done by a minority? First thing, Aziz Basa, how they counter the situation. Second thing, as per the act, in the preamble, another very important thing is there. They said, whatever Sir Syed Ahmad Khan created, by this act, it is to be dissolved. It is to be dissolved under the Society Registration Act, which are respectively known as Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, Aligarh, Muslim University Association, and transfer to West in the said university. So what does it mean? Supreme Court also further pressed upon that reasoning that देखिए, Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, whatever he has created in 1875, it is dissolved by this act itself. Aligarh Muslim University is created, brought into existence via this 1920s central imperial legislation only. Because the Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College has been dissolved by this particular enactment. Preamble is saying so. Also, along with the preamble, the few very important thing, okay, Section 4 of the AMU Act talks about dissolution of Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, Aligarh, Muslim University Association, and transfer of all property to the university. So section 4 also denoting that 1875 में जो college create किया गया था by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, that is now going to dissolve as per the central and imperial legislature, and new entity is going to be born, and that entity will be called Aligarh Muslim University, and all the property, intellectual property, and the property itself, that will be transferred to this Aligarh Muslim University via this act. That's how it is. So first thing court is saying, देखो इसका right to establish the one of the very important criteria under Article 30, it is done by the Aligarh Muslim University Central Act. It is not done by the minority, because as per the Article 30, minorities have the right to establish. So establishment has to be done by the minority. Here, establishment has been done by this particular section 4, the Central Imperial Legislature AMU Act इस यूनिवर्सिटी को क्रिएट कर रहा है. Understanding how Aziz Basa told and interpreted Article 30. All of you understood? Give me a yes if you have understood, all of you. All of you understood? Then give me a yes in that case. Okay. Now the next very important thing here, as I have told you this particular aspect, okay. Next very important thing, they got into the few other understanding, the amendment part, okay. Amendment part that I'll get into it, okay. So in the amendment, I'll show you the first section 8, okay. Okay, section 8, substituted by, here it is the amendment 1971, 72 and 1981, both the amendment are included here. So कुछ चीज ना ये already हटा चुके हैं, that's why मैं आप लोगों को जो genuine चीज है जो actually 1951 1965 amendment में लाया है वो मुझे दिखाना है आप लोगों को, ठीक है. अच्छा, here दूसरा एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट चीज अगर आप लोग देख पा रहे हो तो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, देखो, ठीक है. Section 23 of the AMU Act, which is also very important for your understanding, ठीक है, क्योंकि यही जो एक्ट है ना, इस एक्ट के मेन कोड है कोर्ट. कोर्ट इज नॉट दैट द सुप्रीम कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट, नहीं, वो नहीं. ये जो कोर्ट है दैट इज द कोर्ट इटसेल्फ, ठीक है. इस कोर्ट का काम क्या है? इस कोर्ट है, दिस कोर्ट इज द गवर्निंग बॉडी. दिस कोर्ट इज द गवर्निंग बॉडी. Now, this court, this section 23 is the most controversial because this has been changed and chopped every time by 1965, 1951, 1981. So this particular section, because why it has been changed and chopped all the time? The reason, कोई भी minority institution को minority कहलाने के लिए administration is second most important thing, isn't it? आप देखियो दो चीज बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट, एक है एस्टैब्लिशमेंट, another thing is the administration. Establishment was confirmed by the preamble and the section 4. Second very important part is the administration, right to conduct the affairs and the management. If the governing body who is governing is reduced, the power of them is reduced, automatically minority institution will not be remaining minority. Are you understanding, all of you? Give me a yes if you are understanding. So they are, by the legislature, it has been changed frequently. Sometimes it has been changed in such a way, power of the court has been taken away, 1951, 1965, and in 1972, 1981, the power has been given again to the court. Okay, so this is the court. So I'll show it to you. It is with the amendment I am sharing, post 1981 probably. Okay, so look at this. Look at this very important thing. Yeah, it is post 1981. It is with the Muslim community here. Okay, क्योंकि आजिज बासा के पहले ऐसा नहीं था, because आजिज बासा के टाइम it has been reduced to an advisory body और एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल को मेन बॉडी बना दिया गया था. ओके, सो That is the very important part. The court consists of chancellor, pro-chancellor, vice-chancellor, and pro-vice-chancellor. Okay. Court shall be the supreme governing body of the university, which has been added in the 1981. पहले नहीं था 1965, 1951 में. Shall exercise all the powers of the university not otherwise provided by this act. Statutes, ordinances, everything. Okay. And here, subject to the provision of this act, the court shall exercise the following powers performed: to make statutes, to amend, repeal the same, to consider the ordinances, consider and pass resolutions, exercise such other powers and perform as may needed to be done to elect such persons. So this court is a very important part under AMU. इसी पार्ट को बार बार चेंज किया गया है to basically say whether the administration power is there with the university or not with the university. So in the 1951-1965, this court power has been reduced to an advisory body. When it has been done, in the Aziz Basa, they said, as right to administration is one of the sole ingredient of a minority institution to be called as minority institution is missing in the act. That's why minority university criteria is not getting fulfilled. Because both the term right to establish and administer, both the term needed to be read conjunctively. Establishment एक imperial legislature से हुआ है. Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College has been dissolved by Section 4. Section 23, power governing body, जहां पे Muslim is the sole member, उसका governing body का power कम कर दिया गया है, reduced to an advisory board. So as a result, माइनॉरिटी इंस्टीट्यूशंस आप कैसे बोल सकते हो एएमयू को? अजीज बासा में सुप्रीम कोर्ट ऐसे बोल रहा है. अजीज बासा में सुप्रीम कोर्ट इज सेइंग administration and establishment, both the word are equally important to be called for any institution to be an minority institution. So in this case, both the things are not there for AMU. And as a result, it cannot be called a minority institution. That is the very first reason that Aziz Basa talked about. I hope you understood. If you have any query, do let me know in the comment box. If you have any query, do let me know in the comment box. If you have any query, okay? Because these two parts also very important, okay? Now, coming to the next very important part, as I have shared this particular thing, okay? Now, conjunctively it has to be read, okay? The preamble I have showed you. This part I have shared with you, okay? Supreme Court then got into a very interesting thing, okay? Supreme Court said, when Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College has been founded by Sir Syed Ahmad Khan in 1875, it may be a minority college. Maybe, because it was done by a minority minority communities, they have done it. Then it has raised fund for minority from the minority community. Maybe. But the moment Aligarh Muslim University Act was enacted, Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental College, they have surrendered their rights as per Section 4. As per Section 4, they have surrendered their rights, because that I have shown you. But sir, अगर surrender होता है तो क्या होगा? What can be done? Surrender, Section 4, dissolution of Mohammedan Anglo-Oriental. Sir, surrender किया गया है. But sir, अगर surrender किया गया है तो what can be done in that case? Supreme Court is saying by Section 4 of the AMU Act, it is basically denoting that the minority status of the university is getting surrendered by Section 4 of the AMU Act. But sir, that's how it is connected. So they are saying probably they were minority till the time AMU Act was enacted. But when it was enacted, in the Aziz Basa case, Supreme Court is saying by Section 4, the minority status of the university has been surrendered also. Because you can see the dissolution of Muhammad Anglo Oriental College, the property has been transferred, the other things has been transferred in the name of IMU. So Muhammad Anglo Oriental College does not exist. So there is a surrender of rights, which is a very important thing. Now, as they have surrendered their rights, if they have continued to become Anglo Oriental College, they would have been told to be a minority university. But as they have surrendered their minority status and right via AMU Act, they will no longer be treated as Aligarh Muslim University, as minority university. Clear? Clear? If it's clear, let me know in the comment box. If it's clear, let me know in the comment box. So this is the second part. In Aziz Basa, first thing they talked about right to establish and administer, how it is done. Second thing they talked about, there is a surrender of rights. Third thing in Aziz Basa, they said entry 63 list 1. They have got into a very interesting thing. Entry 63 list 1, which is also very important part, which later is very important. Okay. Entry 60 में 7 शेड्यूल दिखाता हूं एक बार. Okay, आप लोगों को 7 शेड्यूल union list. Okay, union list. Hope I'll get it very, very easily. Union list. Union list of Indian Constitution. 7 schedule. Okay. Achha. If you can see the screen, and all of you, I'm sharing with all of you here. Okay. Here in this case, if you are sharing entry 63, which is a very interesting thing. Okay. Other than Aziz Basa, this thing are claiming. Okay. Respondents are also claiming this very important part. So आशीष भाषा में एक चीज तो बोला गया, अब रेस्पोंडेंट और एक चीज क्लेम कर रहे हैं. बोले क्या सर, रेस्पोंडेंट क्या बोल रहे हैं? रेस्पोंडेंट बोल रहे हैं कि entry 63 talks a very interesting stuff. What does it talk about? Institutions known at the commencement of this constitution as Banaras Hindu University, Aligarh Muslim University, Delhi University, university established pursuant of Article 371E or any other institution declared by Parliament to be of national importance. So here, another very important. What they are saying, as per entry 63 list 1, so as you know, as per the different list, power has been vested with different entity. Under list 1, the power to enact or legislate is vested with the center. So as per the 63, the power is vested with the center or parliament to make the legislation upon. Fine enough. So here, as per entry 63, Aligarh Muslim University under the list 1. So anything regarding that, parliament has the sole power to take any kind of situation. So here, what they are saying, respondents simultaneously quoting Aziz Basa and also for their aspect, they are saying that no, Parliament is actually the governing body here, because we have seen the AMU Act enacted by the Parliament. Second, entry 63 talks about Parliament has the power in the list 1. Parliament ke paas hi power hai in that particular matter. So Aligarh University, as it is placed under entry 63 list 1, it is coming under the list Parliament power only. And the next important part, Aligarh Muslim University is an institution of national importance. It means, as it's an institution of national importance, it is to be further needed to be protected and governed by the center or parliament. Okay. And as it's of national importance, center should be the primary pillar to take charge of Aligarh Muslim University. And entry 63 says so. So respondent and this part, they are the Aziz Basa, both the things, they are claiming this primary governing body is the center by the AMU Act and also entry 63 list 1. So look at this, how they are claiming the Aziz Basa ke Aligarh Muslim University is not a minority university because अलीगढ़ मुस्लिम यूनिवर्सिटी के इनैक्टमेंट के प्रीएम्बल में एस्टेब्लिशमेंट वर्ड लिखा गया है, उसमें सेक्शन 4 डिसॉल्व किया करता है महामडन एंग्लो ओरिएंटल कॉलेज को, एंड उसके साथ सेक्शन 23 टॉक्स अबाउट इन द 1951-65 their power have been reduced significantly. The main governing body who are running is not court, they are the executive and academic council. Third, entry 63 list 1 that talks about that the commencement of the constitution, okay, the Aligarh Muslim University is of national importance. It has to be governed by center. That's what they are claiming. And as a result, it's of national importance. The minority character is going to be taken away. Minority character is going to be taken away. That what being claimed, that is not the judgment I am talking about, okay? That is being claimed कि minority institution का ये जो label है, that should not be associated with the Aligarh Muslim University, okay? These are the reason, Aziz Basa. Third and the final thing that what respondent claim, which is also very interesting. Now, what they claimed, the definition of minority. Now, as you know, the minority has not been defined in any, in the constitution. Minority का definition आपको नहीं पता होगा कि what is the definition of minority. Constitution में define नहीं किया गया. There are several cases in which the definition of minority has been given. Now, in some cases, Supreme Court said where any community in whole total population, okay, if they are lesser than 50%, they might be treated as the minority, but it is not conclusive. It may be factual scenario or fact-to-fact basis, it might change. So here the respondent, what they are claiming in this particular case, कि देखो, जब ये institution established किया गया था around 1875-1877, that time, are the Muslim be treated as minority? अभी आप बता सकते हो from the current scenario Muslim is a minority, but when it was established, can you say the minority community में Muslims आते थे? In the British era, the Muslims were equally there because that time the area of Hindustan was quite large. So in that case, respondent saying that time when it was established, they were not treated as minority. How can the Aligarh Muslim University be called as minority institution? So all these factors play a very important role in respondent factor, and Aziz Basatu said Aligarh Muslim University is not a minority university. It is not a minority university, and that's why, so whatever the power and the governing and all those stuff, it should not be associated with the minorities. Okay. Via this principle, Allahabad High Court single judge bench and division bench, they rejected the reservation, 50% reservation policy given to PG student in Aligarh Muslim University. With this logic only, whatever I've shared with you, because they referred the Aziz Basa case. And then this particular case, the division bench case of Allahabad High Court, that has been referred to 3-judge bench Supreme Court and further referred to this particular bench. Okay. But what I am saying, this is the situation regarding the Aziz Basa case. Hope you understood. Hope you understood this thing. Any query that you people want to ask me? Any query that you people want to ask me here in this case? Any query that you want to ask me? Okay. So this is the situation regarding this aspect. Okay. This is the situation regarding this aspect. Why the Aligarh Muslim University was treated as not a minority university by Aziz Basa case, and later, as you know, in 1972 and 1981, two very important amendment that has been done. Okay, because amendment up 1981 and 19, आप अगर इसमें amendment देखोगे कुछ, ठीक है, I'll show you the few amendments. One of the amendment 1981 का amendment अगर देखोगे, it is to change the Aziz Basa. Change the Aziz Basa. I was telling in the very first class, it was changing the Aziz Basa. By the way, one thing I haven't told you, that if you think or if you are starting your preparation, you are not able to understand how to filter out for your CLAT PG preparation, क्या चीज पढ़ना है, कैसा चीज करना है, कैसे नोट बनाना है, ठीक है. There is a very special offer that's going on. You can have a call with me one-on-one. It'll cost you just 199. It's a 30 minutes call. The people who are self-study, people who want to take help, आप easily मेरे से help ले सकते हो in your preparation, ठीक है. मैं उसका link नीचे दे दूंगा. You can go and take the help. Book a session as per your convenience. You can book the session and then you can take the help from our side regarding what to study, what not to study, how to make notes, how toppers make notes, आपको कैसे पढ़ना है, कौन सा चीज छोड़ना है, ठीक है. एंड द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, कैसे प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट करना है इफ यू हैवंट स्टार्टेड द प्रिपरेशन. सो ऑल दोस थिंग्स विल बी इंक्लूडेड दिस इन दिस पर्टिकुलर केस. ओके, सारा चीज इंक्लूड होगा एंड इट विल हेल्प यू अ लॉट. तो फॉर दैट रेफरेंस, अगर आपको वो चीज करना है 199, जस्ट हैव ए कॉल विद मी. इट विल क्लियर आउट ऑल द थिंग्स, के आप सही डायरेक्शन में जा रहे हो या नहीं. अभी 4 महीने हैं, एक बार चेक कर लो कि डायरेक्शन सही है या नहीं, ठीक है. नाउ कमिंग टू दिस वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट, देखो सेक्शन 5 जो 1972 और 1981 में चेंज किए गए हैं, आप अगर देखोगे एक बार, ठीक है. सो यू कैन सी इट, the 345 which 1972 and 1981 which has been included here to promote Oriental and Islamic studies, give instruction in Muslim theology, religion, to impart moral and physical training, to promote the study of religious civilization and culture of India, to promote especially the educational and cultural advancement of the Muslims of India. Okay, so if you see this is a very important part that needed to be understood. Okay, so 1972 that also given power. Okay, given power इन रिगार्ड्स टू के मुस्लिम को पावर दोबारा दिया जा रहा है आजीज बासा. क्योंकि आजीज बासा में आप अगर देखोगे, आजीज बासा वाज प्रीटी क्रिस्टल क्लियर कि इट्स नॉट ए माइनॉरिटी यूनिवर्सिटी with their own reasoning itself. But 1972 and 1981 changed these things. Muslim education, it was not there. It was getting, it is included. Okay. And also the definition of university. You can see the definition of university, which is also included via 1981 amendment. आप यूनिवर्सिटी के डेफिनेशन देखो ना, एएमयू के, educational institution of their choice established by the Muslims of India. So here particularly the Muslims of India getting included the post Aziz Basa judgment to change the Aziz Basa ruling itself. ठीक है, and that's why it was further challenged, जो हम लोग next class में further discuss करेंगे कि how it was has been challenged. Okay, Aziz Basa में और एक चीज बोला गया था that I haven't told you, I forgot to tell you, is that degrees, diplomas and other academic distinctions conferred by the central and the state government. So here they also said कि अगर ये minority institution होता, ठीक है, but फिर भी center इसको डिग्री दे रहा है. Recognition, conferring the degree will be done by the conferment of the degree done by the center and the state. That's why this is not a minority institution. It is not. So these are the reason that has been laid down. मैं एक एक करके आप लोगों को बता देता हूं फाइनली कि what are the reason has been laid down. Okay, कौन सा रीजन बताया गया है कि why it's not a minority institution in Aziz Basa. 1, AMU preamble. Second, section 4 dissolution of Mahamandan Bangalore Oriental College. 3, section 23 power of the court reduced. Section 6 recognition of degrees. Okay, section 7 number 7. Okay, number 7 is entry 63 list 1. Okay, entry 63 list 1. Entry 63 list 1. Then definition of minority, that is very important part. At that time minority was not, Muslims were not considered as minority. So these are the reasons, 8 reasons that were given respondent in Aziz Basa that why it is not treated as minority university. ठीक है, so हम लोग क्या क्या देखें, Article 30, at least for the Aziz Basa perspective, we have seen the Article 30. Article 30 के 1 क्यों पढ़े? Article 30 के 1 is the most important thing. Article 30 के बाकी जो चीज इस केस के लिए important नहीं है, ठीक है, वो अभी तक हम लोग पढ़े नहीं है, which we are going to study later also in the next class when we are going to get to the judicial reasoning of this class. How D.Y. Chandrachud basically getting into the Aziz Basa judgment, whether it's a correct or not, okay, that we're going to talk about in the next class. So first class we talked about the history, second class how the issues are getting emerged. Okay, so here if you see the issues are getting emerged is pretty simple. Okay, आपको अगर मैं issue दिखाऊं अभी, okay, I'll go to the issues, I'll show it to you. So first issue, whether an educational institution must be both established and administered by a linguistic or religious minority to secure the guarantee under Article 30. So here, as you have seen in the Aziz Basa, it is said establishment and administration both have to be read conjunctively in that case. Okay? So whether both are needed or not, or whether only one thing is needed. Suppose establishment can be done by legislature, but administration, if it is done by Muslim, can it be called a minority university? Understanding? So that issue is very important because as per the Aziz Basa, legislature is creating this AMU Act has created the university. But post amendment 1981, power has been shifted to Muslim. Administration is done by the Muslim. So establishment done by the enactment, administration done by the Muslim community, whether that will be called a minority university under Article 30. That is the first issue. Second, what are the criteria to be satisfied for the establishment of a minority institution? आप कैसे बता सकते हो कि it is established by a minority community? Okay. How can you say what are the criteria? Is it the enactment that led to the thing? Is it the who is the founding member who founded the thing? Or something else? How will you decide that establishment is done by the minority community? These are the criteria that need to be followed. Okay. Third issue, if you see it, okay, whether a minority institution which is registered as society under Society Registration Act soon after its establishment loses its status. So here, this particular enactment, also here this particular case, Society Registration Act. So any educational institution is coming under the Society Registration Act, whether that loses its educational institution or not. This particular issue is coming from अंजुमन रहमानिया, ठीक है, क्योंकि अंजुमन रहमानिया केस में इसको रेफर किया गया था, ठीक है. सो अंजुमन रहमानिया में बताया गया कि कोई भी इंस्टीट्यूशन इफ इट इज रजिस्टर्ड नाउ अंडर सोसाइटी रजिस्ट्रेशन एक्ट, will it lose its minority character or not? Because माइनॉरिटी इंस्टीट्यूशन का एक सबसे बड़ा कंट्रोवर्सी और इंपॉर्टेंस है, अगर कोई रिकॉग्निशन लेता है, कोई एफिलिएशन लेता है, कोई रजिस्ट्रेशन होता है, विल इट लूज इट्स माइनॉरिटी स्टेटस और विल इट कीप इट इंटैक्ट, which is a very important concept, which is a very important question to be addressed by the court. That what I am sharing with you. ठीक है. The last case I haven't, the last issue I haven't talked about anything. तो अभी मैं इसके बारे में ज्यादा कुछ नहीं बोलूंगा क्योंकि इसके बारे में मैं 2 दिन में कुछ पढ़ाया नहीं हूं, ठीक है. प्रोफेसर यशपाल एंड द नेशनल कमीशन ऑफ माइनॉरिटी एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन. सो पोस्ट 2005 और 2005 में एक एक्ट बनाया गया है, ठीक है. अभी सपोज यू वांट टू एस्टैब्लिश ए माइनॉरिटी इंस्टीट्यूशन, यू आर गोइंग टू एस्टैब्लिश ए माइनॉरिटी इंस्टीट्यूशन अंडर दिस नेशनल कमीशन फॉर माइनॉरिटी एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशन एक्ट 2005. Article 30 is there, but also this act both needed to be included and the process needed to be followed for you to establish a minority institution. So in this case, this particular part, this particular issue, I am not talking about it because I haven't shared anything as of now. I am already, whatever I have shared is regarding the Aziz Basa, okay, and the other aspect of Aziz Basa. ओके मैं उसके बारे में ही बात किया हूं. सो होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड कि हाउ आजिज बासा सिचुएशन led to this issue one by one. Okay, and if you have any queries, just do let me know in the comment box. Okay, and hope you like this particular video. Give it a thumbs up. ठीक है, आप एक like कर दो इसको. That will also help me understand. And if you have any query, आप इसके बारे में लिखो in detail. ठीक है, कि क्या क्या आपको जानना है. And next class we are going to getting into the judicial reasoning of these particular issues. Okay. So and if you haven't checked the previous class, do check the previous class. That will be very, very helpful for you to understand this particular case, because this case is an important case. Okay. So thank you all of you. See you again. And simultaneously, good night to all of you. Thank you.